Okay, at this time, we'll call to order the meeting of Monday, June the 23rd, 2025 to order. I ask all who have not signed in, please do so. Please turn off all cell phones and other electronic devices. Please conduct any private conversations in the hallway or outside. This meeting room is equipped with the inductive loop hearing assistance system. You will be able to hear conversations through the microphone on hearing aids with the T-switch. Emergency exits can be found to your right and to your left. This meeting is also live streamed via YouTube with text commenting available. At this time, if you please join us in a salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a couple quick announcements. As we do the last meeting of every month, we recognize 5 employees who are celebrating birthdays in the month of July. We'll start with 2nd of July, Susie Mandrino, Craig Cummings on the 6th, John DeCook on the 18th, Eric Link on the 20th, and Rich O'Donnell on the 28th. So happy birthday to all of those employees. All town facilities will be closed on Friday, July 4th for Independence Day. The transfer station and the office will be closed July 3rd and 4th. The transfer station will be open on Saturday, July 5th, regular hours 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. At this time, board members, for your consideration, looking for the approval of meeting minutes. This would go back to the May 27th town board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
If we could split those up, as I'm going to have to.
Okay, one abstention. All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes for the June 9th board meeting. And I know we had a couple members
I'll have to
absent.
abstain from that one.
Okay,
Myself also.
okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And again, recognizing 2 abstentions for that one. At this time, we'll ask the town clerk to please introduce manifest number 12.
Manifest number 12 for 2025 in the amount of $132,443.06 has been reviewed by the Victor Town Board with the following accounts charged: General Townwide, General Outside Village, Highway Townwide, and S&S Consolidated Sewer Fund.
Thank you, Karen. And up on the big screen are a number of expenditures that are in the range of or exceed $5,000. We'll start with payment number 1 to Bluestone Creek Development for the July rent for the Parks and Rec building. Payment 2 to D. Clark Distributors for highway road projects. Payment number 3, Harris Beach for May attorney fees. There are chargebacks for eminent domain procedural law, 0 costs to the town. Payment to Heidelberg Materials. These are for highway road materials. Payment to M.E. bulbs for LED lighting in town buildings. There is a rebate involved as well. And payment to Mirabito Energy. Fuel purchases. Payment to Northern Highway Supplier. Payment to RG&E. And Villager Construction for the Dryer Road milling. Total of the above-mentioned expenditures is $82,684.16. Total town expenditures minus the previously mentioned expenditures equals $49,758.90. Town board members, any questions on manifest number 12? Hearing
So
none.
moved.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Privilege of the floor this evening. Mr. Kyle Barber is here. Good evening. No, maybe not. Hi, Kyle. And I know, so Kyle, this is, Kyle resides at 1240 Heather Lane, requesting a hold harmless agreement to tie the building and site storm drainage into existing catch basin located with a drainage easement. And it's my understanding, our highway superintendent, do you have any comments on this?
No, we're all set. We're going to talk to Kyle tomorrow. work on highway permits. We'll finalize everything and we should be all set.
Okay. And Craig from the Building Department.
Yeah, we're all set with it too.
Okay. Board members, any concerns or questions for the applicant?
No concern.
No issue.
No.
Same here.
Okay. Well, Kyle, the next step is follow up with Building Department. Okay, very good. Thanks for your attendance.
Mr. Supervisor, if I could make a quick comment.
The floor is yours, sir.
As I suspect a decent amount of people in the room, as far as public comment go, are here in regard to the fire department, specifically the Fishers Fire District. It's been well documented as we've gone over the years. I've referenced my role there many times amongst this town board. So with that said, and as a full-time employee of that district, it certainly is required that I recuse myself from any of the proceedings that are underway or considered, especially as it would relate to the town. So I do know that earlier today you and I spoke. I got an opinion of counsel to ensure that I was doing everything properly as far as recusing myself. And with that said, considering these public comments largely may have to do with that, I'm going to step aside at this point so that there's no perception of impropriety that I would be receiving that information as a voting town board member.
Thank you. This board recognizes and thank you for your willingness to recuse yourself. And before we entertain any public comment, so in the back of the room, on the table when you came in, hopefully signed in, there was a notice that my office had put out last Thursday following the Fishers Fire District meeting back on Wednesday, the 18th. This notice describes the action taken regarding suspending the A and B EMS calls in the Fishers Fire District, and how the Fishers Fire District will continue to respond automatically to C, D, and E level emergency calls. The other action by the commissioners is truly a reason why many of you are here in attendance at this evening's town board meeting. Resolution number 2 that evening, it was actually the 4th resolution, but the number 2 of our interest was passed by the commissioners last Wednesday is for the consideration of dissolving the fire district. Now, we know the commissioners are planning, have scheduled a hearing on July 16th regarding the proposed dissolution. For those of you who have or have not attended a public hearing before, I will describe how the town government holds a public hearing, which would be probably equivalent to what you may experience in a month. It is announced that the public hearing, it opens up, it is announced that the public hearing is now open. The public hearing notice is then read into the record. I would anticipate that some ground rules would be announced, such as stating your name and possibly your address for the record. Comments are usually no more than 3 minutes. To reiterate, the public hearing is a mechanism in government to gather public statements for the record to provide input to the elected officials so that they can make an informed decision. Upon the conclusion of the public hearing, comment period. The chair then would call for a vote to close the public hearing. The Board of Commissioners can either make a decision that evening or table it for a future meeting. For those of you who cannot attend the public hearing, I would recommend that you submit letters to the district. Please review their website as to whether your letters can be submitted. In the case of the action by the commissioners on June 18th, the commissioners passed the resolution for the purpose of considering dissolving the district. When it comes to the Board of Fire Commissioners initiated dissolution, there are no votes beyond the Board of Fire Commissioners. The town board has no authority under state law to prevent the Board of Commissioners of dissolving the fire district. So how is the town involved? Under New York town law, we are to provide fire protection for our citizens upon the dissolution of the district by the Board of Commissioners. So hopefully I answered some questions. Hopefully you found this helpful or not at all. So at this time, the only thing I would ask, state your name for the record, and again, if you could, for 3 minutes. So, more than welcome. I see our local union president is coming here first.
Good evening. I'm actually the union secretary. My name is Dave Sorrells.
Can you pull that mic a little closer so people can
How's
hear?
that? Is that better?
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
Stay there. All right. 1 week ago, and with less than 24 hours' notice, those charged with ensuring the safety and well-being of the residents, businesses, and visitors of Victor. The commissioners of the Fishers Fire District disclosed they are preparing to take a reckless action that will, within a matter of days, be the first step in a process to abandon and reject a commitment to public safety in our community. The message being sent, which apparently reflects the opinion of the Fire District Commissioners, is that dedicated resources are not necessary to provide an adequate and qualified emergency response. However, in recent years, volunteer fire departments in our area and across the state have regularly indicated that they are unable to meet the essential emergency response needs and demands of their communities due to decreasing membership. If the Fishers Fire Department is dissolved, the residents of the town of Victor will have its emergency response diluted and delayed, while also having to provide the financial resources to compensate for a lack of dedicated response. In other words, they will be giving more and getting less. As an 8-year veteran of the professional fire service, I can only reach one conclusion: that the action being contemplated is based on what I believe is a short-sighted evaluation, imprudent path, and extreme agenda, that which ignores the first tier of responsibility of a public official to protect its community. This is clearly an action that is uninformed, irresponsible, and unacceptable. Additionally, I offer this fundamental fact and professional opinion. In 2024, the Fishers Fire Department responded to more than 1,300 calls for accidents, medical emergencies, and reports of fire. We are on pace to exceed that number this year. I responded to thousands of calls during my career, and I know that minutes matter when responding to an alarm. Any delay alters outcomes and has the potential to end in tragic consequences. In addition to being committed to the community I serve, I also speak on behalf of the 25 career firefighters of Fishers Local 4907. Earlier today, I spoke directly with the leadership of the 18,000-member New York State Professional Firefighters Association and the 358,000-member International Association of Firefighters. They have pledged their full support, and they have made it very clear that they will go anywhere, anytime, when they believe the safety of its members is threatened or compromised. As firefighters, they are prepared to provide mutual aid when a community such as Fishers and Victor are in distress. On a personal note, I'd like to add, I've been a firefighter here for only 8 years. Obviously, I have had a career before this one. I took a significant pay cut to get this job. Most of my coworkers over there could say the same thing. I took this job because I wanted to help people more than make money. Any notion that we're here just to bilk the taxpayers out of their money is simply erroneous and insulting to our commitment.
Thank you. And to all of you, I thank you all from this board, entire board. We thank you for your career choices. And whatever community you live in, we thank you certainly for keeping those individuals safe, whether you're a Victor fireman or someone from other areas. So thank you. Thank you for your comments as well. Any other?
I have a very related series of comments. My name is Jeff Helfer. I live in Victor, Cobblestone Creek. On June 16th of 2023, I presented with septic shock, a disease that can and often kills within 12 hours. My blood pressure was 50/30. My blood oxygen was 80%. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. Life-threatening situation. My wife called the ambulance. Fisher Volunteer Fire Department showed up 6 minutes before the ambulance did. They administered oxygen. They took me to Thompson Hospital. The ECU doctor who treated me there, who saved my life, Dr. Justin Weiss, believed that the early administration of oxygen by the Fisher Fire Department probably saved my kidneys, saved my brain. Okay, so I'm here today because of the rapid response time provided by the Fisher Fire Department. That said, I think some of you may be thinking, well, we can respond quickly enough, and under ideal conditions, that's true. But emergency response vehicles are sometimes out on other calls. They have traffic, they're snowed in, they can't find a house number, they get lost. Response time matters. And any activity, any plan to terminate the fine paramedics and EMTs in the Fisher Volunteer Fire Department is, in my opinion, really dumb. I know you're trying to run this as a business, but it's a healthcare business. You need to think about the needs of the customers. If you, with all due respect, if you don't come to your senses, I'd like you to think about what you might say to someone when you can't respond in time and someone dies of a heart attack. I know what my wife would have said. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Val Sorrells, and I'm here tonight for two different reasons. One, speaking on the behalf of David Curry, who owns School of Rock in Victor and High Point. He could not be here tonight with his apologies, but I have a message from him. He is the owner of School of Rock, and every day he welcomes dozens of children and teens into our music school. Their safety is his top priority. With camp season coming up, one of the things I've always been proud to tell as parents is that we've served by professional fire and EMS department with a response time of just 3 minutes or less, because he's right down the road from Station 1. That's not just impressive, it is life-saving. I am deeply concerned about the decision to shut down Fishers. Emergencies do not wait. Whether it's a medical issue with a student, a parent, or a staff member, having highly trained responders so close gives us all a peace of mind. Please do not take away our community life-saving capabilities. Our families, our children, our businesses deserve fast, professional emergency response. Please keep Fisher's Fire Department open. And as a statement from myself, I am the patrol director from the Grok Bike Patrol. We constantly patrol Dryer Road Park. There are many accidents there. Several of them have been responded to by Fisher's Fire Department with quick response. Some of them pretty life-threatening, some of them not. But knowing that they are there to respond quickly to bike accidents, people in the park, people playing sports, bee stings, minor injuries, that is vital for our community. And we plead with you to help keep that support open and available. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Grok, too, for what you do for our parks and supporting our Parks and Rec Department. Other speakers?
Good evening. My name is Tim Highland. I'm here to represent many properties. We have a partnership, some along 96, some along Fishers Road, some on Royal View. Several years ago, my father-in-law got ill, and it was a snowy night, and the Fishers Fire Department was there in 3.5 minutes. It took an ambulance 25 minutes to transport him. Unacceptable. Number one. Number two, has anybody been asking any questions about what's this going to do to your fire insurance rating? Your ISO rating, you get rid of the career firefighters, your fire insurance is probably going to double or triple. So some things that need to be thought about: response times, manpower, disillusion. I mean, there's a lot of questions on the table that I don't think anybody has really gone through and thought about. I think there's mismanagement on the Fishers Fire District if these haven't been answered ahead of time. But they did not allude to any of that at their last meeting. So please think twice before you pull the trigger. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing the insurance factor into this as well. Other speakers?
My name is Kay Hoyt. I live on Mill Street in Fishers. And if it wasn't for our Fishers Fire Department last August, I wouldn't be standing here today. They were with, we called the ambulance. I think they were at my front yard in less than 2 minutes. These men and women are awesome. We're across the street from the fire department. They're always out there. They're greeting our people. in Fishers. They have saved more lives, and I'm looking at different people here that I know that they've saved our lives. This is, I just can't understand why you would want to take away something that is so important. Because you know what? My taxes for Fishers Fire Department might be $500 a year. My life's worth a lot more than that.
Other speakers?
Good evening. I'm Sam Loiacono. I actually live in the city of Canandaigua. But upon hearing the news of what's being proposed, I felt I should come and maybe share you with some information. 35-year member of Canandaigua, just recently retired. In 2010, the city of Canandaigua took the same course you're contemplating doing. It was a disaster. It lasted just over a year before they realized what they had done. What I don't think you consider is the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars it cost to rebuild to where you were. Those people went on to find other jobs. When the city realized that having nobody at their Main Street facility was going to end up costing a life, they started bringing people back on board. You now have to outfit those new people, train those new people, show them what your district is, train them to your disciplines, whether it's confined space, hazardous materials. It's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring you back to where you were before. And I don't know if anyone's considered that before these decisions are made, but I got to work with some of these guys from Fishers in mutual training exercises before I left, and they're unbelievable. What you can't get any better than what you have now unless you hire more people. I'm telling you, as someone that went through it, it was terrible to show up at a place where people were screaming, what took you so long? I said, well, I'm coming from the town of Canandaigua Fire Station because there's nobody downtown anymore. They couldn't believe I showed up alone or with no help behind me, where we used to show up with a small army of people and rectify whatever the problem was. You really need to consider what you're doing. We're not talking about gas versus electric or paper versus plastic. You're talking about life-saving measures and protecting people's property, protecting these wonderful businesses you have in this area. It's unbelievable. You lose one business, what's the tax implications for your district? Those are the things you really got to consider, not what your personal agenda may be. And that's what it came down to in Canandaigua. It wasn't about money. Canandaiga's got a ton of money. It came down to a personal agenda, and that's sad when you put that on the people that are expecting the resources. The other thing, I did fire prevention education in the schools for all those years. To tell those kids that we can be to your house in a matter of minutes, don't worry, when they have those questions, what's going to happen if there's a fire? I know as a kid, I took solace knowing that just blocks away from my house was a staffed fire station. I don't know if any of you thought the same way, but that was a nice comfort. And those kids that I taught over all those years took comfort in the fact that we were trained, we were there, we were ready, night and day, 24/7. What do you tell them now? Better practice your fire escape plan, you may need it. Nobody may be there in time. You don't realize how fast fire travels. They don't have that time to wait. So please consider all the ramifications before any decisions are made. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Ann Smith, and the fire department has responded to my house, my husband, which is why he's still alive today, several times, so I'm very grateful to all of you. The fire commissioners in Fishers are elected to do a job, and clearly to me, they're not doing it. And the Fishers Fire Department covers at least half of the town of Victor. I don't know how the town with a volunteer fire department is going to be able to cover that too.
Thank you. Other speakers?
guy from Canandaigua can get up, I guess a guy from Farmington can get up. I know two gentlemen, my dad was one of them, heavily involved in the fire service throughout the state of New York, throughout the area of Pumpkin Hook, New York, and he had a good friend, Art Lewis. I don't know, many of you remember Art.
Carl,
Yep.
for the records, just state your name so it's on the
Oh, it's
record.
Carl Worland, by the way.
We went to school together, so I know who you are.
Dad was Gus Worland, and some of you may remember him.
Oh, yeah.
He's spinning in his grave right now. You've got basically a city unto itself down there, Eastview Mall, amongst all the outlying plazas and people, and I bet during the Christmas season, at any given time, including the outlying plazas down there and the mall itself. I remember, by the way, Dave, I remember playing in the school band when we opened up that mall down there, and a man by the name of D. Gennaro, I believe, was incremental in getting that here in the town of Victor rather than having it built in the town of Perrington. Perrington got all the traffic, but none of the tax revenue, and you can pat him on the back, too. He was thinking. Hopefully, some of you were thinking here and push these commissioners a little bit. You've got a route out here that they've talked for years. I remember in the 60s when they talked about bypassing 96. How fast do you think I don't even know, what's a fire truck weigh, guys? 10,000, 10 ton? Thank you. How fast do you think they can report down there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you've got highway that people can, at a crawl both ways, or in the morning? Get on that highway. See what it's doing in those times. Get in, when they're letting out for the Christmas time, when they had, how many years ago was that? 2, 3 years ago, when the whole thing was all blocked up down there. Those trucks from High Street can get to that mall. They can bypass all that traffic. There's 2 minutes. I did it today. A truck. There's no uphill, there's no downhill. They can bypass, they come in between 2 lights and they're there. A truck from Victor is going to take at least 10 minutes, if not 15 or 20 when that road is busy. How many lives do you miss in the meantime do you lose? This is crazy. I can't even believe that they're considering this. Maybe there were some fallacies in management. Maybe they could be corrected. But this last gentleman talked about replacing it. Do you know how long it takes to build a fire association? And now trucks. How fast can you get a truck? I think right now, 2, 3 years, guys, to order a truck and get it? 4? Yep. Okay, so if you decide, or they decide, that the wrong decision was made, so you got 4 years to build one truck. You've got millions of dollars in fire halls. How long? And materials. You can't even get materials anymore. What is this going to, you're going to devastate your community, you allow this to happen. You, sir, said we're responsible for protection of our citizens. It's not going to protect the citizens if they do away with those 2 fire halls. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Thank you for listening.
Other speakers?
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Matthew Pickey. I'm a 7-year veteran of the Fishers Fire District career staff. About 2 years ago, I'm from Geneva originally. I transferred to the Geneva Fire Department for about 10 months. It was my home. I wanted to serve the people that I grew up looking up to, the people that volunteered with my father in the same city my father protected. I chose to come back to Fishers. Fishers is my home now. I love the people of the community. I love the people of the fire department. And I am willing, as every one of these men and women are, to lay my life down for the residents of this community. I wanted to speak today. You might notice I have a pretty big beard. I've been out on injury for a number of months. I had to have surgery in March on my hip. We have other members that have been injured in the line of duty and nearly killed. We had one member fall through a roof, and another member got injured taking him out of that roof. I understand that it's not your decision. I want you to put pressure on the commissioners, on my bosses, to tell them, we can't have this. If one person shows up and goes through a roof, and there's nobody there to help them out, maybe they could make the notification to their family. Thank you.
Thank you. Other speakers?
Carl Hergesell, 25-year resident of Fishers Road. As I was discussing this with my wife a couple hours ago, and we had our first notice that this was happening, it occurred to her that if the comptroller of the New York State has any control over fire commissioners, some kind of contact with the controller about this is a possibility. Again, that might be untrue, but I don't know if it's true. Might be worth looking at. Another possibility is that through a court injunction, this could be prevented or slowed down. And Lori my wife again, was suggesting that an independent board or commission or some group could be hired to look at this, a neutral party, to do a better evaluation than we have received from the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Other speakers? Well, I know this isn't the, I know we have nice air conditioning in here, but I guess, oh, we have a speaker.
Good evening, Michael Koch, Bell Arbor Drive, Assistant Chief Fishers Fire. I understand that this board is not responsible for the dissolution and doesn't have control over the fire commissioners for the dissolution. However, this board has the opportunity to be honest with the commissioners and honest with the citizens about what you can and can't do. I mean this respectfully when I say you have neither the competence nor the experience to fix this problem on the town side. While you are responsible for providing fire service, it would be wrong for you to paint a yellow rock and tell us it's gold. You will not be able to provide the same service that is currently provided at the same cost or at a lower cost. Be honest with the people to say, if we provide fire service at a cheaper cost, you are getting less service. People should understand that there is not a duplication of service with our EMS runs. We've shown over and over again response times the ambulance has versus the fire department has. As Mr. Helfer had suggested, response time saved his kidneys and his brain. To suggest that we're duplicating services and that people will be okay with what is here is a lie. And so it's the town board's responsibility to be honest with the commissioners and the townspeople to let them know what they're losing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Well, I want to thank all of you for certainly taking time. Many of you I know have traveled outside other communities, and certainly your respectful conversations, speaking, your comments, and certainly a number of you speaking from the heart. Certainly you've had those life-saving issues or events take place, and these individuals in the room have helped secure that you're here today. So again, I want to thank you certainly for your attendance here at this point. So. Okay, board members moving to reports. Oh, I need Mr. Cusimano, town board member Cusimano, please. There you go. Moving to the reports of town officials, within your packet you had the report from our Planning and Building Department, Parks and Recreation, Highway, and the Director of Finance as well. Any questions on those reports? Town Clerk Karen Bodine, do you have any report?
The only thing I wanted to mention, Supervisor, was we did receive a traffic review it was Valentine Road between Hidden Brook Trail and Victor Egypt Road. I sent that out to all board members, and did you receive, everybody got that? Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that.
So the Department of Transportation, are they reducing the speed limit, or they determine that, is it currently, I'm going to ask our Highway Superintendent, Mark?
Reduced.
It's going to be reduced.
It's going to be reduced. It's 55 now.
Right.
They're dropping it to 50.
Yeah.
So we're,
Victory, finally. Yeah. With the DOT.
it's like it's a win. There's like 1 for 10 this year. So, thank you. Okay, next I have nothing that I wish to report. How about other board members?
I attended the village board meeting last Monday. Their currently biggest thing would be they're working on the new, I don't know how to describe it as other than maybe a pavilion. They received a grant from the state to put like overhead, I don't know how to describe it.
Like a gazebo?
Yeah, gazebo, in the parking lot where they currently have the farmer's market. It'll look similar to, they're still working out all the details on design, but it'll look similar to if you've ever been to the farmer's market in Canandaigua or seen kind of that overhead where they have on their parking. It'll provide more shade for the farmer's market, if there's any weather events, etc. So they're working on that. The other meeting I attended was for the Dryer Road Park Playground replacement meeting. We met to discuss how we wanted to proceed forward with looking at vendors. We decided to put out an RFP that Brian has completed, and I believe he sent out before he went on vacation. Once we receive any proposals from different companies, we'll meet together again to review them, and then we're hoping to have members from the committee as well as Brian himself to come to present to the town board when we present the budget, so that we'd be able to incorporate the cost of the new playground to into the budget as well.
Okay, thank you. Please remind me, is that a mix of potential some ARPA money?
Yes, so there's about a little over $100,000 of ARPA money that we allocated at the beginning of the year to the project. So that's why we're kind of on a slight time crunch. The ARPA money needs to be spent and project completed by the end of 2026. So we're looking at hopefully having it replaced sometime next year.
Okay, thank you. Any other updates? Okay, any other board members with an update? Okay, we will move to the resolutions on this evening's agenda, starting with resolution number 1 from Finance. This is amending a resolution regarding the truck purchase, and again, we never included sending the excess vehicle to the auction, so that's the change.
So moved.
Second. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 2 is amending the 2025 budget to include the pump station improvement projects.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Number 3 is an appointment of Kim Reese to the account clerk position at the Victor Town Courts.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 4 is accepting the resignation of Felicia Skibinski from the Victor Town Courts.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Number 5 is the reappointment of Kelly Kabinski to account clerk position at the Victor Town Courts.
So moved. Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 6, appointment of Michael Reed to motor equipment operator position for the Town of Victor Highway Department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 7, appointment of Daryl Campbell and Jonathan French to part-time seasonal highway laborer positions.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 8 is the creation of a special events coordinator position for the Town of Victor.
I just had a question on this one in number 9. I thought we had already done Caitlin's appointment. Is it like an additional role she's taking on?
So for this position, we needed the position, so we put into the civil service, and actually, if you could pass the mic along, I think we put it in for civil service, waited for their feedback, and we did receive classification,
Yes, when Caitlin and Bridget Bartholomew were appointed, they were appointed to recreation leader positions because the Town of Victor did not have classification for a special events coordinator or a full-time recreation leader position. We had to wait for civil service to come back to us with those classifications, and they just did. So Caitlin was going to be in a special events coordinator position. She has a dual role, about 75% with recreation and about 25% helping out with economic development and special events planning. So per civil service, this role or this description most closely represents her duties in civil service, plus it's a title that she held with the town of Arundecoit. So it is more appropriate match for what she will be doing for the town.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 9, the provisional appointment of Caitlin Bailey.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving to number 10 from the ID Department, surplus computer equipment, declaration and disposition of.
So moved.
Second.
Susie, I want to thank you for putting this together and anyone else who helped you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving to Parks and Recreation. Starting with number 11, this is an agreement with Catherine Kavanaugh.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 12, an agreement again with Catherine Kavanaugh for a different Dungeons and Dragons gameplay.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 13, agreement with Lauren Spitaleri, string music instructions.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Agreement with Natalie Coots, string instructions.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 15, agreement with Sherry Bishoping for instructions in foundational theater skills.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Another agreement with Sherry for musical theater camp.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, agreement with Leanne Berkmeyer for a musical theater camp.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 18 is the agreement with Christine Belkofine, visual art instructions.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 19, agreement with Keith Jones for the puppet theater performance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 20 is accepting the donation for the Community Pops Band.
So moved.
I was glad that was rescheduled too, by the way, with the storm. The Sid Partington, they rescheduled the part of their series.
Okay.
I'll do second.
Yeah, we appreciate certainly the donation, so thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 21, request for certificate of liability insurance waivers for these 11 individuals.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 22, the purchase of custom printed high-pressure laminated interpretive panels for the Auburn Trails. The original ones were actually installed back in 2008.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
From the Planning and Building Department, number 23 is a positive declaration for the street connectivity and access plan.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 24, resolution issuing a negative declaration for the environmental significance for the Victor Pump Station number 19.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 25 is acquisition of an easement by the Monroe County Water Authority. This would be for public water service to 1561 Brace Road.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 26, Highline Park from the clerk's office as well. Letter of credit, release number 4 for Highline Park.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the final resolution was at your place setting. This is a letter of credit acceptance for the site work at PMD.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and it brings us to public comment period number 2. And what I failed to do, if I could, anyone on? Okay, no one on YouTube that periodically we get a question. So if there's any members of the public that care to address the town board again on this evening's agenda? Hearing no comments, I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.